I'm going to show you how to use GPT 4.5 to post to Twitter every single day on autopilot. So what it will do, it'll basically get inspiration from other top creators in your niche. It'll then use OpenAI's latest model, GPT 4.5, to write out a Twitter thread. And it'll then go and use the Twitter API to post that directly to your Twitter account. So with the system, you'll be able to build a fully automated and managed Twitter account, which never requires any time investment from you other than setting it up for the first time. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to set up the system. Even if you have no coding experience, that doesn't matter because we're going to be using AI to actually write the code. And we're going to run that code in the cloud using a very powerful tool called ClipRun. So we'll start off by doing a quick demo of what we are going to be building. So we can see here on the left-hand side, we have my Twitter account join Futurize. And over here, I have a Chrome extension open called ClipRun with the code that we used AI to generate. Okay, and I'm just going to come here, and this is probably the coolest feature about ClipRun is you can set a schedule. All right, so not only can you run this Python code in the cloud, you can set it on a schedule. So I'm going to set this to daily. I'll set this to 1 minute from now. All right, 19:07, and I'll click save. All right, so now basically what's going to happen if we come here to our run history, any second now, the Python code is going to automatically start running based on that time trigger. So with the system, you'll be able to set up to post your Twitter account every single day, or if you really want, you can schedule it to run every single hour or even every single minute. All right, so you can see it started running. I should also mention that your browser doesn't have to be open for this to work. All right, your browser can be closed, your computer can be off, and the code will still run every single day at your scheduled time. All right, took a couple minutes, but it has finished running, and we can see here is our tweet. All right, so it's actually a thread. All right, I'm sure you've seen this format on Twitter. So let's see what the AI wrote. So it starts off with, everyone fears AI triggered mass layoffs, but how would you actually see them coming? One clear indicator, when top AI research labs slow down hiring, pay attention. Another red flag. If banks heavy into AI like JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley begin layoffs despite good economics. Third hint, if AI-powered agents become reliable enough to manage complex decisions autonomously, rethink career stability. Real talk, economic indicators won't reflect job impacts immediately. You'll see these signs earlier. To proactively adapt, acquire skills complementing AI, understanding models, prompting effectively, and strengthening leadership. AI is a tool. Harness it or get sidestepped by those who do. The choice is yours. You'll notice that this looks really human generated. All right, I prompted it like that on purpose. I told it to use lowercase letters. I told it to, use a double ellipsis instead of a triple ellipsis. But overall, this is a really high quality piece of content. It's actually very valuable indicators. So if we have a look at the run history, we can see here at the bottom, here are all the tweets that it wrote out and posted. And at the top, here we have a whole bunch of scraped tweets from the top AI content creators on Twitter. All right, so it took all the recent tweets and it basically decided out of all those tweets, which one has the most insightful or interesting piece of content, and then it used that as inspiration to write this tweet thread over here. So if you want to download this code, all right, it's 350 lines of code. You can come to my website, futurize.com. You can click the Get Started button and you can join my free AI automation community where I'll include the code in the Python automation section, which you can just copy paste into your ClipRun. So first off, what is ClipRun? So ClipRun is basically a Python code runner and playground. So this allows you to run any Python code on the web. So for example, wherever you see like a snippet of Python code, you can just right click and then you can run the code and it'll host that Python code in the cloud and it'll run it for you immediately, as opposed to having to set up a local environment or set up an environment on AWS. It's a big mission. Whereas with ClipRun, they make it super easy. And the best part is it's actually free to use. Right? And they give you unlimited clips, which basically means you can right click and run Python code as many times as you want. You only need to pay if you want the scheduling feature. All right, so that's what I use. So I've actually got the paid version. And with the $10 per month, you get 100,000 credits. And that's basically every second of runtime when the code is running in the cloud, it bills you 1 credit. So with the example we just ran, we can see it had 877 credits. All right. So if we round that off to 1,000, that means we can post 100 Twitter threads per month, which is quite a lot. In fact, I even added delays between the different tweets of a few minutes. If we reduce that, this will be even less, and we'll be able to post even more tweets. The main limitation you actually have is from the Twitter API itself. So you can see we're using this post to tweet endpoint, and on the free version, it's limited to 17 requests every 24 hours. So basically for each of these tweets, that counts as one request. So in this case, it posted 7. So that would be 7 requests, which means you're kind of limited to about 2 to 3 Twitter threads per day. However, if you get the paid version, you can have up to 100 requests every 24 hours. But you can see the basic plan is like $175 per month, and then the pro plan's $4,500 per month. So it's quite expensive, but the free plan should do if it's just one account. All right. Or you can just create multiple Twitter accounts and use the free plan across all of them. So to use ClipRun, all you need to do is go to cliprun.com, all right, and then click add to Chrome. I've already added it. You just need to click add, and then you can pin it to your extensions bar at the top. When you click it, you can then use it. All right. And then you can see all the options here. If you want to upgrade to the paid plan, you can come down here. I think it's under billing. So let me show you a quick demo of how this works. If we come to ChatGPT, I can tell it to write Python code, which, let's do a simple example, counts the number of characters in a text string. Okay. So now ChatGPT will go ahead and write that code for us. Here's the Python code. All right, so now if we want to actually run this to see if it's working, you'd usually need to go open a code editor on your computer, like Visual Studio or Cursor or whatever you use. But with ClipRun, you can simply right-click and then click on Run Python. All right, it's literally that simple. It opens the extension, and you can see it's already run. And here is the response. Number of characters is 13. All right, so we can see in our example, it's the text hello world. And if you count it manually, there are indeed 13 characters in that text string. All right, so you can see how simple that was to actually just run the Python code directly in the cloud. Then you can always just click save, give it a name. I'll just say character counter. And just like before, you can always just come here and schedule it to your liking. So I'm going to show you how I went and prompted to generate all this Python code. Where is it? Twitter automation. So I'm going to show you how I actually prompted the AI to write this code out. Super simple. I'm just going to write use the OpenAI API to generate a tweet about AI. All right, just like that. I'm going to come to the OpenAI documentation, and I'm just going to copy this example code. So I'll paste in that example code. All right. It probably requires authentication as well for our API key. So I'll just copy this. I'll add that over there. All right, and then we'll manually go and add in our API key into the code. All right, so I'm just going to run this, and let's see what happens. Okay, it's busy generating it for us. You can see this is where your API key goes. All right, so I'll show you shortly where you go and actually find your API key. And we can see it's using the GPT-4o model, but we want to use the latest model, which is GPT 4.5 preview, all right, which is that over there. So I'm just going to copy that. I could have just told it in the prompt, but let's just test this out. I'm going to come here and click run Python. Okay, we are going to have to just add in the API key and change the model. So you can see it ran into an error. That's because we haven't added the API key yet. So I'll just paste in the latest model name there. Okay, and then for the API key, you want to go to platform.openai.com. You want to click on settings, go to API keys, and click create a new API key. So I'll just call this one ClipRun demo. All right, and you can select your project. I'll just do default project, create key. And I can copy that, and then I'll paste that in over there. Yeah, that looks good. Now let's run this and see if it works. Okay, it's running. And there is our tweet. AI isn't just code, it's creativity reimagined, blah, blah, blah. And it includes some emojis and hashtags. Now, the issue with fully relying on this GPT model to write your tweets for you is that it's most likely going to sound AI generated, and it's going to be some cliche garbage that isn't actually valuable. So I developed a way which solves that problem. And the way we do that is by sourcing the most recent Twitter posts from the top AI content creators on Twitter. Then all those tweets will be included in the GPT prompt, and the AI can cherry pick a insight from all those tweets and generate an original Twitter thread based on Twitter posts that were written by real people. So the way I set this up is by using this app called RSS.app. So basically you can pull recent posts from anywhere on the internet, such as Instagram, Twitter, or X as it's now called, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, etc. Right? These are all the different places you can pull data from in real time. So what we're using is X. So you can come to X, and then I use this over here. So I basically generated an RSS feed of a Twitter account. So these are all the different Twitter accounts that I am referencing. And the way I found all of these is by simply doing a search on Perplexity. So you can do this too for whatever your niche is. I just said, what are the top 10 people on Twitter who post about AI? All right. And then it came here and it gave us Lex Fridman. There's his handle, right? Sam Altman, Sama, Andrew Ng, all right, etc. Right? So I just copy pasted all of these, and good, you might just want to go and visit their profile and make sure that it is in English, or it does suit your need, or they post the type of content that you want to post. So just go do a sanity check before you actually create your feed. Also, another tip, when you do ask your question, just click this drop down and choose deep research. All right, you'll get much better responses because that's Perplexity's reasoning model to actually go out and do its best possible research to answer your question. All right, so let's go with the example of Sam Altman. I'll just write his handle, Sama, and then click generate. Okay. And here is the feed of Sam Altman's most recent posts. All right, you can then click save feed. Okay, and there is your feed. All right, so if you copy paste this into a new tab, that is basically what it looks like. And it has the actual tweet over there, all right, under the titles. What you can also do is you can come to customize over here, and you want to limit the number of posts. So let's say you only want 10 posts from Sam Altman. So I basically just repeated this process for all these different people. And then I came to bundles over here and I created a bundle called AI Peep. So you can just click new bundle. Okay. And then you can just select all of those AI profiles, click next, give it a name. So you can just say AI bundle, click create. And then you can copy that feed. All right. So this is now all the different profiles combined into one feed, which is what you want. And once again, you can come here and you can customize this to X amount of posts. So ideally, you'd want a low number here, something like 10, because this automation is going to be running every single day. And if it's including the top 20 or 25 posts, or 25 most recent posts, it's possible that yesterday's tweets are going to overlap with today's tweets. And then it's going to possibly choose the same tweet as the best insight to write about again. So by lowering this number, it increases the chances that it's going to be only new content, provided that these profiles are all active and posting daily. Right, so once you've got your feed, the way you would add it to your code is, let me just go back to our Twitter automation. You would simply paste it in over here. All right, so that's where you would paste it in, just Control V. And now the AI will reference the content from the profiles that you connected to your feed. The second thing you're going to want to change is your API key. So you would have just generated one. You can come here and then you can just simply paste in that over here, okay, between the double quotes. Then the third thing you're going to want to change is the actual prompt itself. All right, so you can use my prompt as reference, but this is basically what I wrote. I said, you are a highly intelligent thought leader and Twitter influencer. You take inspiration from other AI thought leaders on Twitter to create your own original tweets. I also defined its personality. I said that its personality must be contrarian like Peter Thiel, value-driven like Alex Hormozi, and first principles-driven like Elon Musk. And then I prompted it so that the response looks like it was written by a human. So for example, don't use dashes or hyphens or colons, only use lowercase text, use a 2-dot ellipsis where necessary, only use once or twice, all right? And basically, here's my entire prompt, all right? I'm not going to read it all now, but you can go read this in your own time, all right? But I have tweaked it so that it gives the best possible responses, at least for the style that I'm looking for my tweets. So if you want to test yours out without always having to post to Twitter while you're busy testing out your tweets, you can just come here and set this to false. Okay, and if you set this to false, then it's not going to post a tweet when you run this. It's just going to show the responses over here in the output panel. Let me just run this and test it out. So you can see there are all of our tweets and the authors. All right, I noticed the request timed out. All right, if that happens to you, I noticed what fixes that is just simply coming here and running it like 1 minute after your current time, and then running it as a scheduled clip usually never has the issue of it timing out like that. Then the last thing you want to change is your API keys for Twitter. So if you scroll down to line 307, we have 4 keys over here. We have the consumer key, which is the API key. Then we have the consumer secret, the access token, and token secret. And the place that you get those is in the Twitter developer portal. All right, so you can go to developer.twitter.com. Okay, create an account, and then under your default project, you can just create a new project or a new application. You can click on keys and tokens. You would come here to API key and secret, and you would generate it over here, and then you can copy the key and the secret that it gives you. The actual API key goes over there, and then the secret goes over there. Then you want to scroll down a bit under authentication tokens. Then over here, it'll give you the option to then generate your access token and your secret, and then you can copy paste the token over there and the token secret over there. All right, so I will be regenerating mine since these are now compromised because I'm showing them in this video. Remember to keep your double quotes, all right? You don't want to change the formatting of the actual code. So that's all for setting up this fully automated Twitter bot. If you also want to set it up yourself, I will include all the links to the tools we use in the description below, as well as all the Python code will be available inside of my free Futurize community. If you enjoyed this video, you'll also enjoy the video showing on the screen right now, where I show you how to fully automate your video content creation process. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next.